after doing my sheet metal series, I had a couple of questions about, well, hey, can you make it squared around? And my answer is, yes, I can make it squared around, but I have to do it out of a piece of pipe. I cannot make a traditional squared around out in the field because it requires too many bends and step offs and straight lines, and you just can't do it. So I can, if I get in trouble and I need to make a squared around out in the field, I'll do it out of a piece of pipe. Now the only problem with making a squared around out in the field is that you're not going to carry the same amount of air through your square side as you would a 6-inch opening. So this is just an emergency situation. When we're done with it, we'll go back to the ductulator and we'll see how much airflow we actually lose by making our own squared around. But if you're doing like a humidifier and you don't have a 6-inch opening in your plenum, you can make a squared around and it'll be fine for that. So I've already measured this pipe off. Now when you go to measure your pipe, you're going to have to figure out what size you want your squared around to be. And in this case, I'm going to pretend that we're doing a 3 1/4 inch by 10 wall stack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure my 3 1/4. This pipe, from the little where they go together, from that to that, it's 18 3/4 inches. So I've already measured that. And then what we'll do is we'll measure 3 1/4 in, and then it's 6 1/8 over, another 3 1/4 in, and another 6 1/8 over. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that measured out. All right. So we're gonna start off where they join together, and that would be right there. So we come up. With our first line is at 3 1/4 because that's what our wall stack is. So 3 1/4, and if you want to make it easy on yourself, you just drag your tape measure over, and then we got 6 1/8 right there. Drag your tape measure over, and then you do another 3 1/4, and then that should give you your 6 1/8. Okay. Then what you do is you take your S-lock, you know I love S-lock, and you just kind of square it off there, and then you draw your line like that. So you see our line right there. Then what you do, now this does not have to be perfect. If you're off 1/8 of an inch, or you know, a 1/16 or whatever, don't worry about it. It does not have to be perfect. And then what you do is you just take where you drew your lines, and you just take and you do your little 45s or 22.5 degrees or whatever you want to do. Like I said, this is not perfect. Remember, we're not ordering this from a sheet metal shop. You're making it. And like I said, it does not have to be a thing of beauty. It's got to work. Alright, so you see we got our 3 1/4, our 6 1/8, our 3 1/4, and our 6 1/8. Now what you do is you just come along, and we're going to cut that little edge off there, like that. Like that. Now once I start bending this up, you'll be like, oh man, I can't believe it was that easy. Now, if you're a sheet metal worker out in the field, or you're working a sheet metal shop, you're going to want to tell me that I'm crazy as hell and I don't know what I'm doing. Well, you know what? You're probably right. But it works, and it works really well. So, but this is not something you want to just do, you know, to save money on the fitting, because it will restrict airflow a little bit. But like I said, if you're doing a humidifier or something like that, this works great. So I don't really need the rest of this pipe, so I'm just going to cut it off just because it makes it easy. Okay, once you got that cut, go ahead and put your pipe together. Since I cut them, they're kind of bent in a little bit, so it's a little harder to do. That's all right. Y'all all know what it's like. So now, see you got it like that. Now what you do is you take your S-lock, because you know I love my S-lock. Bend it. Take it. Bend it. I know y'all are now saying, well, would you look at that? Some of y'all probably already know this trick. It's not that hard to figure out. Look at that. It's already taken shape. There you go. See, I told you it wasn't going to be perfect. You see I was off just a little bit. This side's a little longer than that side. But you get the gist of it. There he is. There's your little squared around out of a piece of pipe. So pretty simple. There you go. All right. Now let's go look at the ductulator and see how much air we actually lost. So here we're at the ductulator, and if you see, I have the arrow there on the duct diameter pointed at 6. If you come over here to the 0.1 static, you can see we're just over 100. So, and then let's see, that would be, if we did it by the 6-inch, remember it was 3 1/4 by 6, that's, you see it's 6 by 5 duct that 6-inch duct is equivalent to, right there. So let's move it and let's find our 6 by 3 1/4. So there's our 6. Move it up to the 3. So you see 6 by 3. Now let's come over back to the 0.1 static. As you see, look how many CFMs you lose. You lose about 70 CFM by making that squared around. That's why I told you, it's not something you want to use all the time, but it is there just in case. If it's a little area, you don't need that much air in or whatever. So there it is. So you just have what, about 55 CFM. Now if you come to the round part over here, you see it drops it down from 6 to about 4.5 inch duct. So just barely 5. So like I said, it is something you can use if you really need to, but if you know, it's there to get you out of trouble. And if it's a small room where you don't need that much air, then go ahead and use it. But like I said, you're better off to order you one from the sheet metal shop. Or if you have a brake and you can do the work on it, you can actually make your own squared around. And when I get my brake in there set back up, I'll show you how to make one. Anyway, so that's it. That's how you make a squared around in the field. And well, actually, let's just go ahead and get it measured. Find my tape measure. What do I do with the tape measure? Can't find it. I always look in the last place you had it.